Now, playing by ear is by far the most effective way to learn as a child. However, if you are an adult, I absolutely think it is possible to learn with just sheet music. This video is just for those of you who want to be able to play by ear. You want to be able to hear a song and replicate it on your instrument. So there's a couple things that you need to be able to recognize in order to play by ear. The first is you need to be able to recognize if pitches are the same or different. So for example, I'm going to play you 2 pitches. Are those pitches the same or different? Different, right? How about these ones? Different, right? How about these? Different. Last one. The same. So that's the first thing, and it might seem pretty basic, but hey, we got to start out with the basics in order to build off of them, right? So the second thing you need to be able to recognize is if pitches are higher or lower than one another. So I'm going to play you 2 notes, and you must tell me if the second note is higher or lower than the first note. Higher, right? Lower. Lower. Higher. So as the pitches get closer and closer together, it can be harder and harder to discern whether they are higher or lower. Now, I know that there are like games and websites online that you can use to practice this sort of thing. I'm not familiar with any off the top of my head, but I'm sure if you Googled it, you could find some game to help you practice. And the third thing that you need to be able to identify is scales versus arpeggios. So in simplest terms, scales are sequences of notes where we don't skip any notes and we don't skip any fingers. And arpeggios are where we skip every other note. Okay, so a scale would sound like this. Obviously, it's not a complete scale, but it's a scalar pattern where the notes are stepping up. And then an arpeggio would sound like this, where we're skipping every other note. Now, I'm going to play you either a scale or arpeggio going up or down, and you have to tell me what it is. Ready? That was a scale going down. The pitches were getting lower. That was an arpeggio going up. The pitches were getting higher. That was a scale going up. The pitches were getting higher. And that was an arpeggio down. The pitches were getting lower. So do you maybe see why practicing your scales and arpeggios is so important? Maybe, sort of. So that's really the base of what you need to know in order to play by ear. The rest is trial and error. So if you're trying to learn a particular piece by ear, one of the most important things that you can do is listen to the piece often. Listen to it actively, meaning you're just sitting there focused solely on the music, and listen to it passively. When you're in the car, when you're cooking, when you're doing something else, but you have it on in the background. That way the melody really gets ingrained in your head. Something else that would be good to identify would be the key. Not always possible and not always necessary, but just a helpful thing to know so you can anticipate your finger patterns and what notes are sharp and things like that. Then I would take it in very, very small chunks, and I would sing what I'm trying to play. So if I was trying to play this, I would identify first what note it starts on. So I play around on my instrument until I found the right note. Matches the pitch. Then I'm obviously the next pitch, I'm going down, but it's a pretty big skip, right? So I might play, doesn't sound right, not low enough. Doesn't sound right, not low enough. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I know that, I know it's just a scale up. Right, and then I have that same leap, skip back down. So that would be the thought process going through my head. Like I said, it is a lot of trial and error, but as you practice, you're going to get better and better at it, and you'll be able to play your favorite songs by ear in no time. I hope this was helpful. If it was, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I have a link down below where you can fill out a form to apply to work with me, and thank you guys so much for watching.